Do you look at other people in awe of how easy it seems for them to just show up powerfully? Well, we're going to talk about that today. I am going to be talking with you about that secret ingredient to showing up with confidence and authority in high pressure environments like public speaking or going live or leading a group of people or any other potentially freak out, scary kind of experiences like that. So if we haven't yet met, my name is Katie Power, and I am a performance and leadership coach and the international best-selling author of Turns Out I'm Hot After All, How I Got My Power Back After a Breakup, and how you can too, no matter what's happened in your life. I have put a link in the description and in the comments below to a free resource that I created, which I use with my clients. And it's the first step in the process towards showing up powerfully in these kinds of potentially stressful environments. And I'll get into the specifics of it a little bit later, but if you're ready to jump into that first step, I would recommend that you go ahead and click that link. So I'm gonna go back in the Wayback Machine to my days in Catholic grade school. So I went to a few. I went to 3 Catholic grade schools because we moved a few times when I was a kid. And if you are not familiar with this experience, a uniform is required. And I remember feeling very stifled. I hated so much. It just felt like it was taking all of my personality away. And also the other thing was that people were very athletic there. And if you know me at all, you know that I am not athletic in the least. And I'm okay with that now, but at that point in my life, it was horrific and embarrassing. And I hated gym class more than life itself, because it felt like an opportunity for me to be in my weakest, showing up in my weakest abilities possible. And we didn't really have, we had a music class, but you know, we did the recorder and things like that. There was no singing. So I didn't feel like, we didn't have theater or anything like that. So I really just felt like there was no one there that was like me, and I didn't fit in with how they all expressed themselves with confidence. And so I allowed that to keep me in the shadows. And I allowed myself to hide behind that fear and insecurity of not being good at sports and having to wear this uniform and feeling like every part of me had been snuffed out. So then fast forward to high school, and I went to a public high school, and it was like, it was a huge change for me. But it wasn't just that the school had so much more to offer, because that first day of orientation, I remember, I think the outfit made such a big difference for me. Being able to wear what I wanted, something that would express who I was, set me off on a good foot, being like, yes, this is who I am, and I'm gonna show up that way today. But I made a conscious decision the first day of high school that I was going to be me. I wasn't going to put forward any kind of energy that I was insecure or afraid. I was going to be myself, because I knew, even though I was in this environment where I allowed myself to be stifled, I knew that was still my choice. And so when I got to high school, I was like, you know what? I am going to be me, and that's it. And if they don't like it, then too bad. And it was a confident decision that I made that first day, and it paid off. I got plugged into a community instantly because there were a lot of people there like me. There was a music department and a theater department, which I plugged into and became a leader in within my first year. I also joined a sports team my first day of high school. I joined the swim team, so I was like, hey, I can, I have an athletic thing I can put on there too. But that was something I felt confident in. So one thing I want to point out, I am the same person in both of those examples. So in the first one in grade school, I felt like I had to put on in order to be accepted in any way. I always felt fake, like I was, because all of my energy was spent on trying to fit in and figure out how to be like these people and get them to like me. I was always insecure. And I remember in 8th grade, we did these prophecies, and I was so upset about how this turned out, because I remember we were all put into different groups and given a list of different people in the class that we had to write prophecies about. And I remember being so excited to hear what people said about me, because I felt so different, but I knew I had goals. And I remember feeling like, there were a few people I opened up to about what those goals were in my life. And I remember being made fun of for sharing that. And I think it's just because I was different. So I was very curious about what was going to happen. And my prophecy was that I was going to be a fitness instructor and have a bunch of kids. And if you know me at all, I have 0 kids, and that's by choice. And I absolutely loathe and despise fitness and going to the gym. So it couldn't have been farther from my reality. And I just remember being so confused, like, why did they say that about me? They know what I want to do. And that's the thing. A lot of people wrote what they thought, what they already knew their friend wanted to be when they grew up or whatever. That's what they would say. And I got this random thing out of nowhere. And I just remember, man, this is just such an example of how I don't fit in here. I don't belong here. And so I made a conscious decision in high school, in this new environment, that I was going to show up as myself. And like I said, I'm the same person in both of those examples. In one, I allowed my insecurity to be more important than my own true identity. I'm going to say that again because it's really important. I allowed my insecurity to be more important than my true identity. I was compromising myself so that I could try to fit in, because that insecurity made me feel like that would be the way to go. Is that resonating? Let me know if it is. In the other example, I made the conscious decision to show up in my power, regardless of what other people thought. I honestly don't know where that confidence came from, because maybe it was just the opportunity to start fresh. I was in a new place. No one knew me. Well, there were like 3 or 4 people there who knew me. Out of 1,600 people, I figured that was a safe place for me to just be myself. But it was a conscious decision, and that's the point that I want to stress, that I chose to show up as myself rather than hiding behind that insecurity and fear. So if this is something that you want to get a handle on, to feel a little bit more like you can show up in these kinds of circumstances, regardless of how stressful it might be, and be powerful and be dynamic, the first step is, there's a link in the description and in the comments to a free resource that will help you. So let's get into this. What we can take away from the example I just gave you is my number 1 point, which is you are the secret ingredient. And I know that's probably not the answer you want me to say. That's probably not what you want to hear from me. But people who are able to be confident in front of other people are able to do that because they understand that what they have to bring to the table, what they have to offer, can't come from anyone else. Even if it's similar content, it's different because of who is delivering it. The way you do something is unique to you. If there were 5 people that were instructed to teach on the same subject, all 5 are going to do it very differently. What you bring to the table is that secret ingredient. And your confidence, your knowing that what you bring to the table is the secret ingredient. That confidence in knowing that what you have is different, and that you are the only one who can bring that information in that way. And I'll tell you, in my business, people have told me repeatedly that while the tools and the skills that I have taught them and coached them on have been extremely helpful and beneficial to their careers, it's actually me that makes the difference for them. They tell me this. And people will often work with you even if they already understand the concepts that you teach and coach on, because there's something about you that they intuitively know that they need to be around. They intuitively know they need to be in your presence, in your world, and learning it from you. And that's something that you have. It's not a magic ingredient that some people were given and others were not. The difference is that the people who you look at in awe that seem to have it and you feel like you don't, the difference is that those people know they have it. They know that what they have is their own. It's unique and it's what people need. That's the difference. It's not that you don't have it. So getting clear on who you are when you are your best, your strongest self, that is the first step to tapping into that secret, being able to show up in that kind of power. And when you decide to show up as that version of yourself, just like I did that first day of high school, when you decide that you're going to show up that way all the time, when you're your best in all your strengths, you are projecting that kind of strength and confidence in a completely organic way, and it's magnetic, and people are drawn to that. Another piece of this is owning your zone of genius. Like I said, what you do may be the same as what someone else does, but you both are delivering it in a different package. Each one of you is different. And when you own your specific set of strengths, your specific gifts and talents, and what makes you different, you own that and step into it fully, then you are able to move with confidence, especially in sharing your gifts, and even if that's a high pressure environment. That knowing of who you are is such a key ingredient. It's so important. It affects everything. And when you're confident about who you are and that what you bring to the table is the best solution, then you stop comparing yourself to others, which is one of the fastest ways to give away your power to someone else. When you start comparing yourself to others, or as someone said to me recently, when you compare their outside to your inside, what you need to do is get clear on your inside, who you are, and let it come out. Own who you are. And yeah, it's a little scary in the beginning because it feels unknown to you, because you're probably still in that pattern of what are people going to think about me. But the best part is that once you step into that, it gets easier to step into it every single day because it is who you are. You're not putting on some kind of fake costume that no one's going to believe. You are stripping away and being yourself, pulling out those strong pieces of yourself and letting them shine all the time. That's how you do it. That's how you show up. So if you want to take that first step, I was telling you that in the description as well as in the comments below, there's a link for you. And what that is my Power Type quiz. And it is a tool that will help you get really clear on the kind of person that you are, what your strengths are, how you show up so that you can lean into that more fully. And when you show up more fully in that way, other people see you for who you are. Also, like we were talking about today, when you are able to identify what your strengths are, what you need to magnify, you're going to be confident. Just like when I was in grade school, I didn't have confidence. And yes, that was a decision. It was a decision that for me to stay in that sort of disempowered place because I felt like I didn't fit in. I didn't feel like there was a place for me to operate in my strengths. I didn't have any visible opportunity to showcase my strong suits in that school. And then when I got to high school, I made the decision, I'm going to be myself, this strong, I'm going to show up as my best all the time, as this strong person that's in there that I've been burying while I was in grade school. I'm going to let her out. That's what we do. That is how we show up powerfully. Again, that link, it's in the description and it's in the comments, katiepower.com/quiz. It's the first most important step. And if you have questions about it, post them in the comments and I will come back and answer them. I'd love to know which one you got, what you think about it. Also, if it doesn't feel right the first time, take it again. Maybe you'll get something different. And answer those questions as honestly as you can. You don't want to try and, I don't think our quiz is very easy to figure out, but you want to be as honest about your answers as possible so that it will give you a true answer. So I hope this was helpful for you, and let me know what questions you have in the comments and I'll swing back around. Have a fantastic rest of your day and I will see you out there.